click this button and say, yo, what up? How's it going?
Doing great. Here's the third part of my challenges.
Yeah. We got Pixie Bob here with a very, very unorthodox deck. So hit me with the pitch. What's going on here?
Well, as you can see from her character card, Pixie Bob is all about momentum and ally attacks.
Yeah.
So, much like her Urge Flow ability, this deck is mostly about building up momentum repeatedly, while also having some allied cards on hand.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense to me.
So basically, this deck is mostly about building up that strong momentum so you can use more enhances easily.
I love it. Absolutely love it. So why? I mean, obviously this is a 55 card deck, right? 54 card deck with 12 foundations. This is a legal deck. Why so few foundations and why so many attacks?
Well, basically, I wanted you to help me figure out the proper balance between attack and foundation. So I basically picked out all of the attacks that are either ally attacks or focused on momentum more.
Okay.
So basically, I did the searching for you. You're welcome.
Thank you. So my number one thing is this is not enough foundations to play the game. It is. I know.
So I was hoping you could help me add more foundations.
Hell yeah, I can certainly do that. So because of how aggressive we are being, I am. Oh, this one's very good for our deck. I am going to be trying to limit how many foundations we play, right? Because I think that there is a way for us to play. Just a.
Wait! I mean, take out the attacks you feel won't be as effective and replace those with more foundations.
Okay.
I just simply save time by picking out all of the available attacks for you.
Got it. Okay. So you want me to make a deck for you? I can do that. I can make that happen. Yeah, let's just take out the bad ones. This one is gone. This one's good. This one is gone. If my character's committed gets to speed for each ally card my card pull, this card's great. I don't even necessarily like Ruin because like we don't have a bunch of actions, but we should just play the Summon Dark Shadow, right? Like it's gonna commit our character anyways.
Oh, actually, that I'm not sure if I would be able to afford more of them because, like I said, it was a fire ally attack, so I wanted to filter it out for you. Wasn't sure if it would actually be useful this time around.
So you're saying no to Ruin?
I'm saying I'm letting you decide whether or not how many copies of Ruin I should run.
Okay, that is fair. I think that it is not a bad card to go in your deck because we are allowed to play Summon Dark Shadow in our deck because our character commits itself for its ability and has like playable or committed abilities, you know?
True.
Yeah. So like if we do decide to play Summon Dark Shadow, then having Ruin is like a good card. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, of course, but out of all the cards, I feel like... Well, how do you feel about Bloom Flame Palm Strike?
I think it's neat, right? It says discard a momentum after an ally attack deals damage, ready it. So it can get you the momentum, but it can't ready itself because it's not the ally, right?
True, but like I said, I at least wanted to have some of those, not the maximum 4, just some of them, just in case.
Okay. So you want to drop it down to like 2?
Sure.
2 is fine. Arctic is an ally, so it has to stay. This is an ally and a throw, so it guarantees the trigger off of the response. Ruin is good, especially if we're going to play Summon Dark Shadow. I think Slash is good because it gives speed, and that's like the main thing that your deck is going to need. This card is literally made for her, and then Wing and No Moves is like a really neat piece of like you always get to just do the thing as long as you have.
Well, it's
momentum.
not just that. Technically, Earth Beast Golem is one of her creations.
That is true. That is a true sentence.
So technically, it's a Pixie Bob card.
Yeah. That's why it's got all 3 of her symbols.
Yep.
This looks like a decent enough attack count for me to run it. Like, again, like your goal is to be incredibly aggressive with this deck. And so
Yeah,
from
Pixie Bob herself. I mean, you've seen how she acts in the anime.
True. I'm going to mess around with the actions now. I think that we don't need concentrate. I think what we need instead is actually just go for the win.
Oh, sorry. It's just that I mostly wanted to put concentrate in simply because of how it worked for momentum.
Mm-hmm. I don't think that you'll need it, but if you are that diehard on it, I will put it back.
But if you say it's not a good card, I trust your gut.
So the thing is about concentrate is like it gives you a momentum if you've taken damage, so you have to hold it in your hand. But Pixie Bob just already does this thing, right? She already says that we get a momentum on your turn. This is a reactionary card where this is an active gathering of that momentum, right?
In that case, I trust your judgment. Replace the concentrates with go for the wins.
Let's get it. Because the big thing here is we're going to be playing with very, very, very few foundations in our stage. And this lets us build while not building.
And besides, it will make up for you do know I had to take out all of my good cards from Monoma, right?
Oh, yeah?
Well, because of his new action card, so as a result, I might as well go for the wins for Pixie Bob.
That makes sense. That makes sense to me.
So I trust your judgment.
I think over the win is definitely the right call here, because of how high of an attack count we're running with our deck. And I'm gonna try and keep this as close to the 55 as we can make it, because I think she does want to play with like a high attack count, low foundation stage, but not quite at the numbers that you had. But and that's the point of just doing this thing, you know.
So basically, she's going to be very similar to my All Might deck.
Incredibly similar. Yeah. Fancy Feast. This card is super cute. This card is not very good in this particular deck. I think we should probably put it down to a 1 of.
Okay.
Yeah. I think the one thing that's bad about this card is that its name doesn't have cat or cats in it. I think if this card had the word cat or cats in it, we could get away with playing a bunch of it. Because it would be a commit my asset for a 0 mid block in my deck, and I think that's good enough. Right?
Oh, true. It's just that I originally planned on putting 2 copies of Fancy Feast in every Pussycat deck, but if you said this deck will work best with 1 copy, that's perfectly fine.
I just don't think that we need 2. Honestly, we could probably cut it and feel fine, but I think the card is too cute, too cool to keep, or too cool to not keep.
It's Pussycats.
Yeah.
Okay. Ooh, 8 actions.
Yeah, so we're going to play a bunch, because this card builds us foundations whenever we're behind on the build, and we're always going to be behind on the build because of how Pixie Bob works. And this card says that we don't actually need foundations in order to play the game, because we just increase our check by 3. And then this card says it doesn't count as progressive. And so, like, this card counts as a card in hand as 3 foundations, essentially.
That works.
Yeah. So from here, we're going to have to figure out, like, what the foundations are. It looks like we get 7, 8, 9, 10, like 8 foundations. I think the answer is to play as many 0 diffs as possible, because I want to, like, play an attack, and then build 2 pass as my goal. So, like, tossing in as many quick to act and then, like, internship with best genus just into the deck, just to build afterwards is like really good.
Okay.
I like Wild Pussycats in this deck, although it's very cool because it says the word. It's got our face on it, but this form flip is going to be a little hard to utilize, just strictly based on the fact of we don't have very many of these in our deck, but we should be able to get some. When it works, it's going to feel very good.
Okay, and basically, what about Fastest Flame? That card I was a bit iffy about.
I think Fastest Flame is good exclusively because all of your moves need the speed, and like the first enhance that you do is flip for the 2 speed, and then instantly slam it in your momentum with Pixie Bob, and you feel great. Like you used as much of it as you can, and giving any of these +2 speed is going to feel good. Giving your Dark Shadow Ruin +1 speed or +2 speed, and then Pixie Bob giving it the 2 damage means that you get to utilize its ability. Like there's just like a ton of really good things that you can do with Fastest Flame inside of this deck.
Neat.
Yeah. A deck like this is really easy to put together, but I think the hard part about it genuinely is going to be like piloting it, right? Because like it's so unorthodox. Like this hand that we have here, this is a totally decent hand. Build one, pass. That's totally fine. I'm gonna play my Dark Shadow / I'm going to even if I check my 3, commit quick to act. Flip Fastest Flame on the Dark Shadow / use Pixie Bob to put this in, use Summon Dark Shadow, commit Pixie Bob to give this thing more stats, use Summon Dark Shadow. I can play either of these and they'll guarantee pass, and then just throw as many attacks as I can on turn 2. I guess I'll just play all 6 of these on my turn 2. You'll press a lot of buttons. You'll press a lot of buttons for sure.
Well, that's exactly what she does. I mean, remember that whole cougar moment?
I do, yes.
So basically, I don't mind her having a more aggressive deck build simply because it fits with her personality.
Makes sense.
It's why I made her the fire symbol, because she has that kind of temper.
Yeah. I think this is the deck, though, dude. I think this is it. Any final thoughts before I ship you the list and you go play with it?
Oh, no. It's actually pretty perfect.
Hell yeah. I'd love to hear it. All right. Well, then stay on the line long enough for me to shoot you the list, and you have a great night, okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Peace.